Hi, my name's Amy Kofer, and I'll be presenting our HR strategic plans on behalf of my team for PacSun. So first, the HR challenges that we've outlined. So the environmental influence of labor force is between 16 and 19 with a little bit of standard deviation above that. The organizational demands, there's about 9,000 employees. They use the Blue Ocean strategy, and their culture is described as committed, diverse, and friendly. Some of the regulatory issues is in 2019, they had an ADA violation where they did not hire an applicant solely because they were in a wheelchair. There was an $85,000 settlement with this violation, and the spokesperson from PacSun said that the company has a zero tolerance for discrimination. So first, work design. So one of the ways that work design is important for PacSun is it tells employees what their jobs are, the tasks that come with it, what entails, and what they need to do. Internally, it allows the company to function better on a day-to-day operation, and externally, it provides future employees what it would be like to work for us as a corporation. So workforce planning. First, we need to analyze the supply. By supply, I mean our employees that we have in the retail store. We need to see how many we have at different seasons and at different times of the year. Step 2, we need to analyze the demand. So we need to see when we need more employees and when we need less, and when it'll be beneficial to accommodate for those. Step 3 is the gap analysis. So we need to see when the demand is high but the supply is low, and vice versa. And then step 4 is the solution. We need to figure out the best way to make sure that we have the adequate amount of employees for the demand from the customers. So this, both internally and externally, will show that the company is trying to be the most efficient they can be. Recruitment, this is one of the biggest areas that we think there could be some improvement. So the job-based employees are the sales associates, and the core employees are sales managers and GMs. So we think that the competencies that they should have is they need to be charismatic and driven. They need to have high interpersonal abilities, and they need to have education on PacSun, as well as they need to have effective teamwork capabilities. So the target group, so the job-based employees, we said that they should be 18 years or older. They should have a GED or a high school diploma, and they need to be able to pass a background check. Core employees need to be diverse, highly educated. That means higher than a high school diploma. They need to be, so that's some college, an associate's or bachelor's degree, and they need to have experience specifically in the retail industry, and they also need to be able to pass a background check. So we think that it's important to recruit both internally and externally. They are opposed to recruiting internally, especially for the core employees. They already know how the business works and what's expected of them. So for employee attraction, for both job-based and core employees, I'll talk about it later, but basically the benefits are the commission is what's going to attract the future employees. So selection. So information for the hiring decisions. So the job-based employees need to submit an application and go through an interview process, and the core employees need to submit an application, go through an interview process. They need to have past experience, education, and they need to have references from other jobs. Along with the interview and application, job-based employees need to pass a honesty and integrity test, and core employees need to take a strengths finder test so that we're able to use them to the best of their abilities. When interviewing, job-based employees should be interviewed on behavioral questions as well as core employees, but they should also be interviewed on competency questions. And the ultimate decision on if we should hire them or not is just if they're an asset to the company. If they're going to be detrimental, we don't want them, but if they can help us or we could help them, we would love to have them in our company. So learning and development. So this is one of the most important processes when hiring someone. Training, so all employees should go through onboarding. There should be a systematic method. It should be effective. They should meet all objectives, and it should increase excitement and retention with the job-based and core employees. So the most effective training for job-based employees would be coaching and mentoring and on-the-job training. So coaching and mentoring, the core employees should mentor them and coach them on how to do better, like the most efficient ways to do it. And on the job training, they should be following someone, shadowing someone, so that they can learn all of the skills that they need. In core employees, the best and most effective training would be classroom training. So either the GM or someone from headquarters should come down and teach them how to be the best store manager, what we expect of them, what they expect of us, and just their general tasks. And then measuring successful training, core employees should be able to continue learning and make sure the company stays relevant, while the job-based employees, it'll be based on retention, so making sure that our turnover rate isn't high, that we should retain our employees for a long time. Next is performance management, so identifying performance dimensions and measures. So job-based employees should understand and know customer service. They should understand the store operations, that is anything open to close. They should know how to work their POS system efficiently. And the way that we're going to measure this is through growth of employees. So they should get better and more efficient over time. Core employees should be promoting and retaining top talent. So they should be looking for the best employees for PacSun that will help us grow in the end. They should provide leadership and guidance for the job-based employees, and they should understand store operations, that is open to close and even beyond that. The way we're going to track this is making sure that they're getting more efficient and understanding what they're doing. For evaluating employee performance, the job-based and core employees, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but it's going to be forced choice and surveying employees. Basically, we just want to make sure that they are happy that they're working for us and that they're doing everything that we expect of them. So step 4 is provide feedback. Feedback is one of the most important parts of an HR management plan. We suggest a balanced approach, so making sure we're telling them the good, bad, and the ugly. And then developing action plans to improve the performance. It's important to tell them the feedback, but it's also important to tell them how they're going to improve, or what they should change about it to make the most of their experience. Compensation and incentives. So compensation, the job-based employee should be external competitive approach based on the labor market, and core employees should be internal competitiveness approach based on the job classifications. So the incentives, the job-based employees should have a sales incentives plan. So that is like a commission-based plan. So the more they sell, the more they push their sales, the more money they make. In return, that's more money that PacSun makes as a corporation. And the core-based employees should have a merit pay program. So the benefits, the first few are benefits that are already provided by PacSun. So that's a 401k plan, PTO, and merchandise discount. We suggest that they offer a Sales Associate of the Month award, or the MVP. That's just the sales associate that has the highest sales in relation to hours. And then they get recognized, which will also encourage their employees to push sales more so that they can get that. And then also college scholarship. After working for us for a few years, they should be able to get a $1,000 scholarship, for example, that they can use towards books, tuition, room and board, etc. And then how will employee contributions be affected? Overall, there'll be an increase to performance, which will positively affect the company. So the commission-based salary, like I said before, the more they sell, the more they make, but the more they make, the more the company makes in the end. The commission-based will also increase competition amongst coworkers, because they'll be competing to make the most money, which in return will make us more money. And then for the college scholarship program will increase performance, because it'll keep them working for us longer, increasing the retention, and it'll help them grow as a salesperson, which in the end will help us too. Like I said, there'll be an increase in total profit for PacSun from the commission-based salary. And then how will we create and sustain competitive advantage? So the commission-based pay, this is unique. None of our competitors do this, so this is an incentive for someone to come work for us, as well as the college scholarship program, so that increases retention. And then also increasing the age requirement. That means our employees will be more mature and they'll understand how to handle difficult situations better. And the same with experience. Like the more experience someone has, the more knowledgeable they are in that field. In return, it'll help PacSun as a whole. So what does sustaining competitive advantage look like for PacSun? So increase in customer presence. So the more a customer spends, the more likely they are to come back and shop at PacSun. And again, in correlation with the commission-based salary, the more our job-based employees push sales, the more that they'll spend, the more that they'll come back and shop, and the more our name gets out by word of mouth. It'll also increase employee satisfaction and performance because, again, with the college scholarship program and the commission-based pay, they'll be able to make more money for themselves, and it'll give them an incentive to stay longer, increasing our retention rate. So the strategic plans that we suggest is a commission-based pay, the college scholarship, and the increase in the minimum age that we require, and the competencies and skills that they have. Thank you.